All right, welcome back, everyone. This is the FloTrack podcast. I'm Kevin. He is Gordon. Lots to talk about today, Gordon, in the running world. Going to recap a whole bunch of meets. You discovered a new Coca-Cola flavor as well, too.
Yes, not sponsored by Coca-Cola, but I found it in the fridge right here.
So my name is
Coca-Cola Rosalia.
Rosalia, yep.
Tastes awful, but, you got to get some caffeine in you. I do not recommend it. Sorry for ever going to get the sponsorship. I don't think Coca-Cola listens
Wow,
to the
you really
podcast.
blew that.
I know, but it's not good. Zero sugar, that's cool and all, but this is not for me. So check it out for yourself. Not a good Coke.
That was it?
That's all I got to say about that.
I thought you were going to have some inspired words.
I don't know, man. I'm also in a good mood.
You don't prefer the flavor, is what you're
I don't
saying.
prefer the flavor.
Yeah,
The flavor, it's like a weird flavor.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we're going to talk Doha. That was on Friday. We'll also talk about the meets that happened this weekend, the Track Fest in LA, and then there was the Atlanta City Games, the street meet out in Atlanta with Noah Lyles and some other superstars. Where do you want to start?
Well, some people were saying I was going to be doing this podcast with the Sixers being swept by the Celtics.
No, I said the possibility existed. But
Yeah.
that wasn't a possibility for long because they literally won the first game
Exactly.
of the series.
And so what I'm saying is Sixers, Celtics tie 2-2.
Yeah.
3 games to go. Probably only 2 because we're going to win in 6. I just want to let you know that Gordon's lifelong dream of seeing a Sixers championship while doing his podcast is still intact.
Still alive.
And I've said I joined FloTrack in 2014, the year the Sixers signed Joel Embiid. It's now been 10 years
I didn't realize the connection.
or 9 years. It makes sense. Like, this is the point. This is a culmination. I joined FloTrack in 2014. Joel Embiid joined Sixers in 2014. We have a wild 9 years, and it's coming to the climactic point this week.
If anybody wonders why I'm in the ridiculous position of cheering for a Boston sports team, this is why. This is exactly why, having to listen to this. Do you want to start with Doha?
Yeah, start
Or do you
with
want to start with the more recent stuff? Doha? Okay.
Yeah, start with Doha.
Go to Doha on Friday, kickoff of the Diamond League. The fields are really good, top to bottom. You got a lot of good one-on-one and even like 3 or 4 people in these races where you could see it being world championships or good races that you would see be instrumental in determining the pecking order for the U.S. team going into the world champion, or sorry, the U.S. championships. Well, let's start with the women's 100. That one got the most headlines. Then we'll go to the men's too. Sha'Carri Richardson sets a world lead, runs 10.76 to beat Shericka Jackson. I thought what was most interesting watching this one is just how strong she came on later on in the race, especially compared to Jackson, who's a 200-meter runner, one of the fastest 200-meter runners of all time. She was able to make up ground and get the win. And 10.76 is a really good time. I know we're always drawn now to the 10.5s and the idea of that world record potentially getting broken by some of the big names like Fraser Price and Elaine Thompson. But if you look, this was Richardson's fastest win legal time in a couple of years. It had been a while since she had run this fast, and it goes up there with some of her best marks ever. So a great run for her. I mean, the field was solid behind with Asher Smith and Twanisha Terry. Right now, I think you have to, if you're redoing the top 10 every week, we started with her out of the top 10, now in the top 10. Now she's moving up top 5, top 3 at this point.
I think you could arguably consider and say that this race, this win, is Sha'Carri Richardson's most impressive win of her career. More impressive than her NCAA win, when she broke the NCAA record in Austin, Texas. More impressive than all of her heavy wind-aided low 10 mid, 10 6s. Better than her Olympic trials win. Because being the best American is not the same thing as beating some of the best international athletes. And Shericka Jackson and Dina Asher-Smith are not like low-tier international competition. Both of those women, you can envision having them a medal around their neck in the 100-meter dash and or 200.
Yeah, they have medals. Yeah,
and they have it. Well, in 2023.
Gotcha.
And if Sha'Carri can beat Jackson and Asher-Smith,
yeah,
you're like, okay, who else out there can beat her? And you think, all right, obviously Shelly Ann. And then is that the list?
Right now, based on what we've seen form-wise, yeah. Like, I'm not writing off Elaine Thompson her, but if I was doing the rankings right now, you'd have to put Richardson up there. Like, it would have to be Fraser Price and then her. You already have a head-to-head win over Jackson, and Jackson had the old world lead. So it's not to say in a month or 2 months it's going to be the same thing, and there's going to be tougher tests to come. But right now, based on the resumes of 2023, and going back a little bit to 2022 and Fraser Price's history too, you'd have to keep her up there. But
yeah, but I would argue that in 2021, which was Sha'Carri's best year,
yeah,
she never had the dominant wins over the competition she was going to eventually face at the Olympics. Right?
Correct. And there's this whole idea of competing internationally versus competing in the U.S. And I know that's a different. For some athletes, it's more of a big deal than others. I remember I heard Trayvon Bromell a couple of years ago talk about being able to succeed in international meets and not just U.S. meets and the adjustment that it takes. So there's that element too. Going on the road, not that everybody was from Doha in this race, but getting out of the United States and beating two medalists is big.
Yeah.
Is big. Yeah.
Because obviously, Sha'Carri's story has a lot of like highs and lows. She has, a phenomenal wind-aided race in the rain. Then she kind of loses to Kayla White in a 200. You're like, which one is this? But this is the one that I think we're most likely going to get the rest of 2023, where she's beating the world. She's beating the people outside of Shelly Ann.
Yeah.
And being the best not named Shelly Ann is a very impressive thing, in my opinion, because Shelly Ann's an all-time great. I can't wait till we get to see them match up. Do you know when we might get to see them? Do you think we're going to have to wait until World Championship final before we actually see Shelly Ann and Sha'Carri?
Well, you might, because Pre is after
the
World Championships this year. They're both scheduled to run in Nairobi, but I think Richardson's going to be in the 2 and Fraser Price is going to be in the 1. We also need to remember, though, Shrika Jackson's not going away. Shrika Jackson's fine.
She ran 10:85.
Right. So she was less than a tenth behind.
Yeah.
If you just take
almost a tenth ahead of Asher Smith.
Yeah. If you take the names out of it, and you say, hey, two people are racing against each other in a meet in the beginning of May in the 100. They're separated by a tenth. Would you be shocked if the result changes when they race again in August? You'd say no, absolutely not. But because it is Richardson, everybody was waiting for her to put it together in a big race like this. It stands out even more. But there is a long way to go.
Yes, for sure. And we can still see the Jamaica sweep that going into 2023 was the favorite. We still have I can't believe I forgot her name. Oh my goodness.
You talking about US or Jamaica?
No.
Jamaica?
Neither. Oh my God.
I'm talking about the women's 100?
Yeah.
Which?
Texas.
Oh, Julian Alford?
Yeah, Alford. Oh my God. I apologize, Julian. She's also, I think, can low-key be a wild card to be like, all right, we're talking about Jamaica and Sha'Carri, and really Julian Alford's like, hello.
Yeah. She's hiding
when she runs like 10-6 in Texas in June, which I think she might do.
Yeah. If she does that, everybody's going to stop. Just hope the win stays legal. But Hobbs ran well this weekend at Atlanta City Games. She's been doing well, too. Yeah, you want to see more from the Jamaica group, but they're all veterans at this point, too, so they don't need to win early season as much. I think they will be content, get on the team. Some of them already have buys in one or both of the events, or one of the events, and then do their work before Budapest and get sharp when the time's right. Because it really is, we're 3 months still from World Championships.
And I think I'm kind of hoping it'll be kind of fun if it happens this way, if Sha'Carri does just as a classic good race, bad race, good race, bad race. So she's bound to have a bad race in Nairobi and then a good race and a bad race. Well, I think she's going to be good. She's going to be like, all right, hopefully the good race overlaps with the World Championship final.
I would pay more attention to the 100-meter results than the 200 results.
True.
And if she's running the 200 in Nairobi, it's just different. And I think Jackson is going to be better in the 2 than in the 1. Fraser Price better in the 1 than the 2. Thompson Rock could go either way. Just something to keep in mind.
And you look at the U.S. side, I mean, I guess it's just Richardson and Hobbs right now, right?
We're waiting for a third person to separate from the group. There's a lot of potential candidates, but those look like the 2. But again, it's 2 months until USA's even. There's so much that can change between now and then.
Terry ran 11:07, wasn't really, she's like very separated from Richardson. Melissa Jefferson, U.S. champ, was 7th in this race, ran 11:19.
But both of those women could get back into it in 2 months.
Yeah.
It's still real.
They could, but like they're kind of far away to get back in. Like it's like they let a lot.
But if you're looking for top 3 though, I mean, listen, I think if Richardson runs 10:6, she's gonna be fine.
Yeah.
There's not gonna be no one is gonna be able to get her. I don't think. But we're talking about top 3, or we're talking about if she moves back towards the pack and runs 10-7 high or 10-8, then there's a lot of people who
I'm not talking about this, that Richardson doesn't get top 3. I'm more talking about, is there a third American that can make a world final the way we can look at Richardson now and Hobbs is making a world final?
Yeah, I think that one's still TBD.
Yeah.
But I think there's a lot more answers than they had last year at this point of the season. Last year there was a little more up in the air about who it would be. Now there's at least 2 candidates on the women's side for people who could get in the final and make some noise. I just want to see. I want to see more Thompson Hurrah, particularly in the 100, and then I want to see how Fraser Price opens up. Because, again, you could be looking at a situation where Richardson or Julian Alfred in the next couple weeks is turning in the best 100-meter performances in the world.
Can't believe I forgot Julian Alfred's name. I apologize, Julian.
Folks in the chat say Tamari Davis is the third American, 10.89 this year. She's in the mix.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just the experience, though, you kind of want to think it's going to be a Terry or Jefferson. But, yeah. Or, dare I say it, the ultimate experience.
Oh, Gianna Daniels?
Gianna Daniels.
All she does is what?
All she does is make teams.
That's right. All right, the 200.
Except she didn't make the team last year, though.
Well, I know, but you like the...
Yeah, it's a good bit, though.
You gotta stay committed to it. Men's 2. That was an interesting race.
Yeah.
You were really pumped up about 150 meters in.
I was.
You were pumping your
I was
fist.
up 3-1 in the series.
Yeah, you were.
I was like, this is it. This is my moment. Kenny B's going to get the win over Fred Curley and Fambule and DeGrasse and Norman.
Mm-hmm.
Norman, I guess, should we talk at the front of the race or the end of the race first?
No. Talk about Kenny B and
So,
Curley. Curley had a kick.
Curley had a kick. So they call him Fred Kickley.
Let's not do that one
not
again.
Good. That's
Nope.
good.
No.
That's not a t-shirt slogan.
Let's
Fred
pretend we
Kickley.
didn't have that one.
But you rarely see kicks in 200s.
I'd edit that out, but we're
we
live.
saw it. I guess that's what happened when he puts on the A6 kit. A6, they have like distance runners. So
I see.
They're more kickers. Remember, they had a really good 800-meter. Ryan Martin. Remember him?
He could kick.
He could kick.
Santa Barbara.
Baby. Him versus, who was the other guy?
Oh.
They had a good back and forth.
Charles Jock.
Charles Jock. There's another guy, though.
No, you're talking about Big West Conference. You're talking about Charles Jock at UC Irvine, Ryan Martin at UC Santa Barbara.
There's a UCLA kid, too.
Oh, Corey Prim?
Yeah, Corey Prim.
Man.
Great name.
Going hard into Southern California 800-meter runners.
Anyway.
Restart that.
Fred Curley has the kick in him because of the A6. But anyway, Bednarik looked good. And I was like, woo, this is good. And then Curley, final 50, just looked like he was prepared the whole time that he was going to be able to close that gap. And it looked effortlessly. It didn't look like he was straining to run into the 19.9s. Bednarik runs 20:11. The race looked faster than the result.
Yeah, and maybe it was because the close looked like it was on fast forward.
I was kind of surprised the way Kenny only ran 20:11. It looked like Kenny at least ran like 19.
I thought it was a good result for Kenny. You were more down on it.
Yeah,
because you've thrown all your lot into him being the world champion,
which I still believe. Mm-hmm. Not letting go of that ticket.
I think this is fine for Kenny. I think this is a good step forward for him. I think Curley's going to be there in the 200. That's just the situation that we're in. And I don't know. It's still so early. You just want to see progress at this point, and this is better than his last one.
Yeah, for sure. Michael Norman, though. It's time to have the Michael Norman conversation.
I thought he would be awesome in the 2.
Me too.
Because he's always been really good in the 2.
Exactly.
It's been one of the untalked about parts of U.S. sprinting. People don't want to talk about how good Michael Norman is in the 2 because he was always 400, 400, 400.
Yeah.
And whenever he'd run a 200, it would fluctuate between great and really good.
Yeah.
Because he would throw in against the best 200-meter runners in the world and be able to hold his own and even get some wins. This is his first bad one. And it really surprised me because I thought, okay, if he's training more for the 100, he's going to get even better at the 200 because with his 400-meter training, perhaps wasn't as sharp for 200, couldn't take advantage of it, and just really never got going in this race. Was a complete non-factor. What did he run? 20.6. 20.6. Almost to the point where you just throw it out. You just figure, all right, maybe there's issue with health or travel or something like that. So throw this one in the trash. I think you just move on.
Okay, so
if you're Norman.
These are his last 200s. In 2022, he ran 19.8, 19.9, and 19.7.
Yeah, he's really good in the 200. That's what I'm saying. I thought he was going to run this race, and everybody was going to talk about him running the 200 at Worlds, not the 100.
In 21 and 20, he did not run the 200.
Look at
In
2019.
he ran 19.8 and 19.7.
Wasn't that where he beat
19.70?
He beat Lyles, right?
Yeah, that's
Okay.
2019. In 2018, he was in college, so he's running a bunch of 20,
But didn't he run a-
20.3, 20.0. Then he ran a 19.8
That was in
at
Paris.
Pac-12s.
No, but didn't he run postseason again
Yeah,
in Paris?
he ran 1984 at Pac-12s in 2018, then 1984 in Paris, and 1988 in Lausanne.
Yeah.
So this is his worst 200 since
Yeah, it's to the you don't even
2017. No, wait, outdoor? He hasn't run this slow outdoors since, wait a minute, since 2016 July in the first round
US.
of the U20 World Championships.
Yeah, listen, that's what I'm saying. You just throw out the result at a certain point, and you say, all right, this is not indicative of who he is.
He ran like he was a U20 2016.
You may not be as optimistic as I am about Norman in the 200, but we all can agree that was not his full
for
potential.
sure.
He's going to get an opportunity. He's going to run well. Again, and I think the 200 is going to be a better path for him than the 100, even though the 200 is so competitive with Lyles and Knighton and Bednarik. But I just think the 200 is more suited to what he's done before. He's shown a lot of consistency over the years in that event. 100, he's got a couple results here and there, but it's mostly been the 400, and then every time he jumps in the 2, it's been good. So I was surprised. I thought he could potentially get the win here, and for sure no lower than 3.
No, I don't want to be all negative Nancy on you.
Yeah, don't. I'm still optimistic on Norman.
But let's imagine, let's do a game theory at out. I'm not sure if that's the right phrase. Game theory. I just like saying it. Sounds like I'm smart when I say game theory.
There's a lot
let's
of
just game theory this out. Let's imagine that Michael Norman continues to do these 2s and 1s, right? He gets a little bit better, but he's never like breaking through to run at the elite 100-meter level he needs to be to actually medal at the 100 or medal at the 200. And he goes to USA's and he comes up short, gets 4th in one or both of the races. And then he basically makes his 400-meter debut in the first round at Worlds.
I love it. That's awesome.
If he's making his 400-meter debut at the first round at Worlds,
He's fresh.
he's fresh. Well, that's probably not good, right?
He'll have a hell of a start. He'll be first around the curve. Yeah. So what's your question? That's not
'cause I
good?
feel like
Yeah, that's not ideal.
That's not ideal because if he's doing that, means is like I'm going to like my ex after failing all my new relationships.
I think that won't happen.
But he has that. That's the plan, though. If this all fails,
No, but there's a month.
he's going to go to the 400.
There's a month in between. He'll get a quarter in. And I think they'll probably be able to see the writing on the wall before that, maybe jump in a quarter before USA's.
So
he'll have at least 1 or 2 races.
So that gets my point. If we see
Shawnee Miller way about 1 world indoor title without even running in her season debut.
If we see Michael Norman run a quarter, is that him announcing to the world, I'm not doing the 100?
Yeah, I think.
So
or it's a hedge. It's yeah.
So if we see 400, we know like, ooh.
The 400 is going to be tough. In and of itself, it's going to be hard to win that thing. But I always thought all along that the quarter was the better path to win. Now maybe he's doing. Remember, he did say in that initial interview, it's about Paris. So this is just the year to kind of run through some things and see what.
Wait, it's about Paris?
Yeah, Olympics.
Come on. Oh, so like he doesn't care about this entire year?
No. I don't think he's. Man, I'm doing a lot of work here defending.
No, you're saying like, I'm really trying to win Olympic gold in the 100, not global gold in the 100 in 2023. Is what you're basically trying to say?
No, I think what it would mean in practical purposes is right now he's prioritizing a global gold in the 100 over a world championship 400-meter gold this year. And if it takes a rough patch this year to get used to the event, he wants to get the reps in so that way in Paris he can do the 100.
So he's basically purposely sitting the starters.
I don't know. I don't think
game 2 of a blowout to prepare for game 3.
I don't think he's purposely doing any of this. I just think he's thinking on a 2-year trajectory and he wants to get reps in so that way he can get used to the event. I get what you're saying.
If you're thinking in a 2 year, today's an off year and there's no world championships, yeah. But there's a world championships. You should be focusing
but it's not like he's not
on
running.
being the best runner you've ever been in your entire life in August of 2023.
It's not like he's not running, though. He's just running an event where he probably has statistically lower odds to medal. But if that's what he wants to do, that's what he wants to do. I
Can you imagine coming off the track in Budapest and be like, yeah, well, this was cool and all, but the real goal was always a year from now? That's ridiculous. The goal is not a year from now. The goal is August 2023.
Listen, though, now Curly did a really good job with it, so it didn't work out the same way. But like Curly hit his prime in the 100 that second year he was doing it too. Now he got the Olympic silver medal in his first year.
Yeah.
So we don't pay attention to it, but he went up to gold for world champs. I mean, there's no doubt Curly was better in 2022 in the 100 than 2021.
How do you think, Budapest feels when Michael Norman is saying like, "Nah, you're not that important to me"?
It's not that he doesn't think it's important. It's just he wants to run this event. He wants to, and the only way you're going to run the event at a high level is you got to get the reps in.
You got to go through the trenches. Yeah, that makes sense.
So it's not a short-term play. It's a long-term play. Now, maybe it won't work, but he's at least willing to try to take the play. Like, try to make the move. Yeah. So, okay. That was the men's 200. What else we got? Men's 3,000 was fast.
It's done 20 minutes on 2 races.
It's good. That's what people tune in to. See. Men's 3,000 was fast. That's all I really got. Germa, guy's just a stud. 326, meet record. Barrega, second. Aragawi, third. El Bakkali, fourth. Timothy Chariot made his 3K debut and got fifth.
Do you think Bakkali was like, I'm going to get him on the final curve when I'm going to have a killer water jump? And you're like, wait a minute, there's no water.
They're stumbling on that barrier.
I can't close on Germa.
Wins 15. Got to see more Faith Kipyegon. Dominance. How many in a row?
15 in a row for the 1,500-meter queen, including prelims.
Yeah, 11 finals. And
I didn't count
some
the
prelims.
Finals. I just counted.
You did it the first time, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, Teji looked like she was going to perhaps make a run. I got a little nervous.
No, dude. Like, I was watching that with you. I was sitting right next to you, and you were freaking out. You're like, oh. I was like,
I didn't want her to lose.
There is zero body language being shown from Kipyegon that she was going to get past.
I'm invested in
the imagery was like, there's no gap closing. This was a made-up fairy tale in your head that she was on the verge of losing that race.
Man.
I'm just saying.
I just wanted to win no. Just kidding.
You wanted to create like this doubt. But there was zero doubt.
I wanted to be able to say,
yeah.
There's always one friend in the group when you're watching sports who goes, doesn't matter what the game is. Home run, no. Interception. Okay, she won 15 in a row.
And it wasn't close.
It wasn't close.
You like to pretend it's close.
Gordon Mag. Look, I still have that shine from winning the bet last summer about her dominance. So it's good to see that you've moved over to my side.
Well, I don't know. I've never moved over to your side on anything.
Ever. What else?
But I'm just saying, like, yeah, she was not close. She was also 8 years older.
Jasmine Camacho Quinn won.
The person second.
Winfred Yavi won the steeple. Paulino got a win in the quarter, 50-51. Oh, let's talk men's 400 hurdles.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously, Rai Benjamin, the story, he gets the win, and it was a smaller margin of victory. Said he had COVID in the lead up to it. But CJ Allen in second really broke out in this race. Got a huge PB. He's trying to become he's in school to become a chiropractor right now. We have an interview up on the website with Allen. But this is a huge time. Now, in the current era, 47 high isn't what it used to be. But you go back like a decade, and someone running 47.9 in the 400 hurdles was a huge deal. And we almost were forced to look up the stat of the last time Norman lost to an American. I don't even know when it would have been, but Allen was right on him. Huge. I mean, destroyed second place by more than a second. So I thought CJ Allen, a winner who didn't win, like a big performance for him. That was better than a win probably against.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, against any other race. I mean, against Warholm, Benjamin, and Dos Santos, you got to run an all-time time to win, basically. But I think he'd rather have this than a weaker field than he runs 48.5. This just showed really what this guy's capable of.
Yeah, then you look at the team. I mean, we assume Bassett should be able to get back into form after his last year's performance.
Yeah.
He gets fifth in this race, so he's the fourth American. It's kind of wild. The fourth American in his race is also the world medalist from last year.
Yeah.
In a year where that had, arguably the top 3 people ever to run the event in the world. Albeit Benjamin and Warholm were not 100%.
Do you think this is the Warholm, Benjamin, Dos Santos, and previously Samba effect of just the bar getting raised constantly?
I think so. I mean, yeah, you only try to be as best as your fastest competitor. That's why high school kids are faster now, is because with the rise of the internet and transportation and all that stuff, not transportation, but the rise of the internet.
With the rise of
People
transportation.
used to only try to be as good as the top person in your local paper.
With the decline of the steamship.
You try to be as good as the top person in your local paper, and then it was like, all right, the paper now covers statewide. You try to be the best in your state, but now that everyone isn't trying to win state anymore, they're all trying to win fastest in the nation. I think now CJ Allen are like, well, we're not trying to. If Rod Benjamin is the benchmark, you're gonna have to get up to that benchmark.
Yeah.
You're not gonna settle for anything less. Trivia question.
Yeah.
What's CJ's real name?
Charles.
Wrong. 2 more guesses.
CJ's real name.
I'll give you $5 if you get it right.
Okay.
I'll Venmo it to you.
Clifford.
Nope. One last guess. No looking at the chat.
Chadwick.
Chadwick? You think his real name is Chadwick?
I took a shot. What is it?
Craig.
Oh, I should have got that.
Yeah.
You give me
Now
$5?
Venmo me $5.
No.
You agreed to it. You made the
You said you'd
the
give
guesses.
me $5. You don't understand how bets work. Okay, so his old PB 48.17 and then out of 47.93. That's big. That's
Early
big
in the season too.
That's big time stuff from CJ Allen.
Last but not least, men's 800.
Your guy.
My boy, Mula, runs a disgusting race, 146. Come on.
What do you mean it's disgusting?
It's disgusting. These are the best 800-meter runners in the world. How many people live in this world?
We do this all the time.
5 billion?
Now we're up to 7, aren't
7
we?
billion?
Since
We have
podcast
7
started.
billion people, and we found the 10 best of them who run the 800, and the best we can get is a 146. David Rudisha is rolling
We're
over.
almost up to 8 billion.
Is 8 billion.
Yeah.
David Rudisha is rolling over in his grave.
No,
He's not dead, but he's rolling over
retirement.
in his retirement grave.
Yeah.
And he's like, really, boys? Come on. What are we doing here? But as disgusting as it was, I still love that Mula got the win, and he is going to win the world title.
It's going to be career.
It's going to be career.
He's got a good kick.
Career's like not even present.
Sawinski went out in 52, and nobody was near him. They didn't care at all.
Like, so what are you doing?
Yeah. We're going on 3 years now of this, basically.
I think it's not going to come to an end for a while. I think.
Even if you don't count 2020, if you just go 21, 22, 23, it's been 3 years like this.
I think it's going to keep going. I think the Olympic final is going to be 1 in 1:45.
And again, I'm fine with the slow times. It's just that combined with.
I'm not fine with the slow times.
I'm fine with the occasional slow times, but I want to see an 800 meter. I want them to run 800 meters.
Yeah,
like it's fun, and sometimes it can be tactical. That's cool. There's cool tactical races, but it's just there's a ton of parity.
Watching a 100-meter, it's like watching Fred Curley run 10-2.
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing here?
You think they got more in them, basically, is what you're saying.
Yeah, they're just, and they purposely are just, they're running phenomenal last 200s. They're running world-class closing 200s.
It's just
that hasn't changed.
The preceding 600.
Yeah, the preceding 600 are like, no one cares about this. No one's watching. People are cutting to commercial break for this first 600.
I don't
and
think
then
that's what they think.
They all think they're 200-meter runners.
No, I think.
I mean, Eric Sawinski, he's been in the 4x1.
Well, he's a rabbit. Sawinski's doing his job. Sawinski's trying his best out there. I hope he's not getting. MVP. He shouldn't be getting paid based on everybody else's PBs. He should get paid based on if he checks off the box of going through the 400 at the right time. Career winning the last couple global titles, in a way, has helped the event because you can at least point to, oh yeah,
his 2019 races.
Well, no, you can point to. There's some dominance here, and it's exciting.
Okay, yeah.
Like it's a name that's been established. Without him, there's really nobody there. And you look at all the Diamond League winners; it's all over the place. Like one weekend, it's Kinyamal, then it's Arop, then it's Career, then it's
Sajati.
Yeah, exactly. It's just it's been very inconsistent, which on one hand made it fun last year when we tried to do the prediction contest and nobody got it. Nobody got even close to getting the podium. But on the other hand. Yeah, it's just a real mess post-Brazier dominance.
Yep, real mess. All right, that's it for Diamond League. Next one is in a couple weeks. Right? Well, we have
that was a good one.
Nairobi, not a Diamond League, but Continental Tour, live on FloTrack.
Yeah.
That's this weekend.
Yeah, on Saturday, and they've announced some of the names already. You're probably going to get Fraser Price in the 100, Richardson in the 200, Kenny Bednarek is running as well, 20 Sha'Carri. So it should be really good. The opening Continental Tour in Botswana was a solid meet, top to bottom. I'm sure there's going to be some fast times in the sprints because they're going to be running at altitude. So keep an eye on those. And then on the distance side of things, because it's in Kenya, the field should be really good. Times on the distance side, whatever, throw them out. Just watch the competition. It's going to be really good with all the big names.
All right. Next.
Track Fest.
Track Fest
In LA.
LA. I think it was on Mount Sac.
Mount Sac, yeah. It was. I've never been to. Have you been
What
to
do you think
Mount
about
Sac?
What do you think about the name Track Fest?
Well, is this a sound running thing?
Yeah.
Okay, so before it was like the track meet, then the 10. There was the in front
Very
of there.
literal.
Yeah. So I like this more than those ones. I'll give it 7 out of 10. Track Fest.
Track Fest.
Yeah, it's still short, but you know what it is. The 10, if you walked up to people on the street and said, "Hey, you going to the 10 tonight?" They would not understand.
They would not. Even if you said the 10K, they'd be like, "What?
What is that?"
Most people just don't know track terminology.
Right. And the 10, even for track people.
Why is it called Track Fest and not Track Festival?
Shorter, I think. Say some characters. It's
Yeah.
good for headline SEO stuff, maybe.
What do you want, more characters for more SEO?
I don't know.
You're the SEO king here.
That was a joke. I think we should talk about the women's 5,000.
Okay, let's start there.
Pull up the women's 5,000 if you could, Nico. Can you get that one up there? That's not it. That's the B heat. I want the A heat, the fast heat, women's 5,000. See if you can find it. It's at the bottom. It'll be at the bottom. It'll be the good stuff. Shout out to Nico, by the way, producing. Okay, there it is. Josette Andrews, 14:43. 14:43 for her. Wins it by over 4 seconds. Brea in second, Galvan third, Enfeld fourth, Hennis in fifth, Courtney Brighton sixth, and then down in seventh, Caitlin Tuohy, 15:03 breaks the outdoor collegiate record.
Yeah, outdoor collegiate record, just short of the indoor collegiate record, which is 15:01, held by the same person, Jenny Simpson. Jenny Simpson ran 15:07. Now, Caitlin Tuohy was probably eyeing sub 15. Looking at the way she closed, she kind of didn't close as fast as probably she wanted to. She ran 1:12 as for her final 400. She was at 13:51 with 1 lap to go. Runs 1:12. Some of her competitors were running 1:10, 1:08s. And then obviously Josette Andrews ran 1:04 in her final.
That's a close.
400
That is
for
close.
comparison. But very impressive for Caitlin Tuohy. She came out there to try to get the collegiate record. It's kind of hard to say you're going to try to break the collegiate record and then actually do it.
Yeah.
She does it. It wasn't close. She beats it by 4 seconds. Probably even wanted a higher goal, breaking 15. But then I think about this. Caitlin Tuohy's doing an unusual season, outdoor season. And the reason why is because there's really no competition for her at the NCAA level. She's going to win whatever event she enters. She's already broken the mile record, the 3K record, right? Mm-hmm. Now the 5K record. She won indoors 3 and 5.
Yeah.
Whatever she runs outdoors, 15 or 5K or both, she'll win. I don't see anyone really challenging her at either event.
She's been great.
She's been so because she knows all right, there's nothing for me to prove at the NCAA level. Her next thing to prove is to prove it at the US level.
Yeah.
And you look at this, 1, 2, 3. Is Melissa Courtney Bryant, is she American? I don't think so. No, right? You checking?
Double checking.
Checking. So 1, 2, 3. She was the 4th American.
British.
She's British. Okay. She was the 4th American here. But there are also some other Americans that are going to be in the mix, the 5K.
Oh, of course, yeah.
So when you see this result, what does it make you evaluate Caitlin Tuohy's chances of making the U.S. team in year 1 of really going for it?
I mean, this didn't change my opinion on it. It's going to be a huge challenge because right now the U.S. 5,000 and 10,000 teams are really hard to make.
Correct.
So Andrews runs number 6 U.S. all time. Everybody in front of her is from this era. Now, some of them aren't competing at a super high level anymore. But Schweizer's run 14:26. Alicia Monson's run 14:31. I mean, even going back, number 7 behind her is Shalane Flanagan. So it's just this era is really, really good. Now, I don't think it's going to be a 14:26, 14:40 type race at USA's. It'll be a different type of race. Does that play more to her strength, especially as she's getting faster and faster in the 1500? I'm not sure, but it's going to be It's going to be a huge challenge for her. Different year, maybe 5-10 years ago, like putting down this mark, perhaps you'd be like more confident. But right now, I think it's still going to be an
Uphill
absolute
climb.
battle.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like look at what Andrews did. Like that's like a phenomenal mark, 14:43.
I mean, the closing in 64.
Yeah,
That's
and
what I
again,
see.
yeah, and again, a few years ago, the Bowerman group with Houlihan and Schweizer's 23 and 26, and we know what Sifanasan and Gaudet and Obiri and Baba and those type of people, like we know what they're capable of in terms of a 5,000. So we're like, oh yeah, 1420s are fast, but then there's a whole other level. But now there's just like levels upon levels upon levels here, and I think she can make the team. Like it's not
This year?
Yeah, she could. It's not outside the realm possibility because she's still thinking long term and she's still got a couple months, and I'm not going to count her out. But I think you could see her at anywhere from like 3 to 8 right now in the finals. A lot of it just depends on who's healthy, who's running the 5 versus the 10, who's doing the double.
I see her more in the 5 to 8 range.
5 to 8
as
range?
opposed to 3 to 8.
Yeah, and again, that's a credit to how good the field is. Also, a lot of respect, and we already knew this record was amazing, but Jenny Simpson's mark
Lasts a long time.
it lasts a long, long, long time. And she still has the indoor one, 15:01. Just we forget sometimes. Was the one that she broke, did she ran that at Peyton?
I
The
think
one at
so,
Peyton?
yeah.
It was just completely solo, too. From the gun, just
Yeah.
went for it, yeah. That was remarkable. If you haven't seen that race, go back and watch it.
Man, can I answer is, what's the outdoor 1500 record?
Didn't Schweizer get that? No. Schweizer got that.
Let's look that
She
up.
had Schweizer's mile record from indoors.
Collegiate absolute women.
I don't think she's going to be going around chasing records, though.
Well, I'm just saying that's the one last if she could get mile 3K, outdoor 15, outdoor 5K.
Well, you know what she could definitely get.
Okay, so it's Jenny Simpson 359. Yeah, that's not getting broken.
Yeah, Jenny Simpson was
She ran
amazing.
359.
Yeah, that was a pre, right? Was that like end of May?
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
no, it's June 7th. Did she run that?
What year?
2009.
I think that was a pre. I'll look at it.
That's insane. She runs 359. The next fastest time is 4:05. Jenny Simpson ran 359 in college.
Oh, not that. She steepled that year.
That's insane.
She steepled that year.
That's just stupid.
She was on another level completely, and I know that term is overused, but 1 mile, yeah, pre-classic.
Oh, okay.
She got second in that race.
Oh, it was en route to a mile?
No.
Yeah,
Wasn't it?
June 7th. Yeah, 1500. Right. Oh, it was 1500. Okay.
Yeah. You're looking at 15.
Who said mile?
I'm sorry.
Confused me, man.
My bad. Okay, what were we talking about before? Jenny Simpson's awesome. Caitlin Tuohy's really fast.
Trissette Andrews.
Yeah, it's just like someone runs a 14:43 and you're like, yeah, it's pretty
She's
much
never made a team yet, right?
yeah, this
This is the year.
That's sort of like the performance you expect. Like when all those names are on that start list and you know it's going to be like the priority is going to be a quick time, you're like, okay, yeah, someone's going to run the 14:40s, and that's what happens. But right now, I would say, top 3 you'd have
Monson's one.
Andrews, and then you'd have Cranny probably
Or Schweizer.
or Schweizer, like one of the 2 women from Bowerman. Yeah, that could be it.
All right. Next topic. We're killing the transitions here. We just get quiet and we just don't make any noise,
you
and
do a
then
great
we're
job
like,
with that, yeah.
next topic.
I think Nico's piping in music underneath. Cooper Tier beat Morgan Beadlescombe.
Boring race.
Close. Wow.
I mean, come on. They ran 13-12. I'm sorry, but it doesn't deserve to be reacted to.
How about Robert Heppenstall, 1500, 336?
Don't care about that. Keep going. I'll tell you what I actually
beat
care about.
Woody Kincaid?
I'll wait till you tell about what I care about.
Women's 1500.
No, don't care about.
Let's see. Men's steeple.
Nope. Actually, that was good. That was good.
Got you.
Men's steeple was good.
Kenneth Rooks.
Bro,
What's up, Kenneth Rooks?
18-17. Beats Hillary
8-17.
Bohr.
Yeah.
8-17. Beats Hillary Bohr by 3 seconds.
But you want to talk about Beamish.
I do want to talk about Beamish. He's doing
You
a
said
class.
last time he could win a medal in the steeple because his 3K was fast, not knowing that Germa and Wale.
Or 3K runners. I know. I screwed that one up a bit. But George Beamish is figuring out the steeple. Here's the thing, though. He is figuring it out. He's still only run 8:20, though. Like, if you want to be a medalist, you need to be running sub 8/802 range. So he's still a whole new tier of, like...
You think I don't think you need to be sub 8, especially if they do a sitting. Dude,
You need to be sub
do you
8
remember
shape.
you remember how slow Eugene was, that would have been perfect for Jordy Beamish.
Yeah, for sure.
He'd have been in 13th place in a 12-man field with 300 to go because they were jogging, and then
just boom.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would have won.
I'm just saying, like, we need Beamish to run a sub 8:10 for me to start really considering him as a potential contender.
Because that changes from the last time you talked, which is you already had him as a potential contender.
Well,
he had run 840 or whatever you ran.
Sometimes I contradict myself, and I'm self-aware of that.
What did he run at Mount's?
He ran like 840 something.
Yeah.
But yeah, Jordy Beamish, 820, very impressive. Kenneth Rooks, 817. But I would say he's not the NCAA favorite.
Duncan Hamilton?
Duncan Hamilton's the NCAA favorite. You know what Duncan Hamilton did this past weekend, Kevin?
I don't.
Well, I'm going to tell you
Fill
what he
us
did.
in.
Duncan Hamilton, in classic Hamilton, where's Hamilton from?
Alexander or Duncan?
Duncan.
Montana,
Yeah.
correct? Yeah.
And what do they do in Montana? They
Big-
run at altitude.
Big sky?
They run at altitude.
Yeah, okay.
So he was at 5,000 feet in Bozeman, and he ran 341, which converts to 336.
Okay. You tell me you didn't derail this entire breakdown to talk about an altitude conversion. You did. Okay.
No.
Hey,
Hold on.
You got 20
yes,
seconds.
Yes and no.
This is like I got to bring back 60 seconds of Sixers for you.
Well, no, what I'm saying is Duncan Hamilton, low key, I think, is ready to like light off a really fast steeple at NCAAs. He's going to beat Kenneth Rooks. And if I think he's better than Kenneth Rooks, that means I think Duncan Hamilton would have won this race. And if I think Duncan Hamilton would have won this race, I believe Duncan Hamilton will win USA's.
Is that right?
Yes.
That's quite the stretch.
Duncan Hamilton will win USA's. Handshake it.
I'm not betting.
Handshake it. Handshake it.
It's crazy because he's British.
Is he British?
Just kidding.
He's not fucking. Dude. I was like, no.
You can't cuss on the stream?
I can. We're past 5 minutes in. We're good.
Man, you can't do that. Fun game to play with, folks. Gordon, if you ever see Gordon in real life,
I believed you for half a second.
because he knows he doesn't actually check,
Well, I knew.
and he's still mad
Hamilton
about.
at USA's.
And he's like, "Hello." He's still mad about Charles Hicks.
Duncan Hamilton does sound like a British name.
I know it'll only work sparingly, but if you see Gordon at a meet out there, ask him about a particular athlete, and then say, "Yeah, it's crazy. They're British."
No, I'm telling you, man. He's got speed.
Okay, I get it. Let's move on though. I get it.
We didn't move on. I'm telling you, this guy is going to win the USA's. That's the take.
Yeah, I know, but we're still doing.
The take is we watched a race with a bunch of U.S. athletes, and my reaction
We're talking
was
about
there's this
athlete
guy
from
in
New Zealand.
Bozeman who's actually going to win it.
That's fine. I believe you. Okay.
I was preparing
We're
all night
going-
for that take, and you're just like, but whatever.
Yeah. Okay. I'll take the field. You want me to
Uh,
$5? I'll take the field.
No, that's unfair.
Okay. You don't believe in him then? That's
I
fine.
do believe in him.
Women's steeple was actually pretty good. Chrissy Gear, 9:23, beat Courtney Wayment and Alicia Konieczek. So watch out for Gear. Women's steeple might be in a little bit of a flux this year. For so long, it was like a lock.
Top three.
A lock of all locks. So those top three, that might be shifting a bit.
Or top two, really.
And then we have some B sections. Centro was third in the B section, ran 340.
Not going to get excited about it.
And then there was...
And then you haven't done it yet.
What? What'd I miss?
In the men's section 2 of the 5K, Connor Burns, future Oregon Duck, I believe, breaks Galen Rupp's high school 5K record. 13:37.3.
Amazing accomplishment. Great run. High school 5,000 marks, though, have always been like...
Yeah, but it's Galen Rupp's
Sure.
5,000
yeah,
mark. It's
yeah.
not some schmoby pody who no one heard of.
What does that even mean? Okay. Yeah, it was a good...
It's a legit mark.
No, I'm not saying it's not a legit mark. And
So then you need to react in a more like, that's
Whoa.
impressive.
Yeah, no.
Whoa, you need a woo.
No, it's...
I need a woo from you.
It's incredibly impressive. Congrats to him.
You're walking it back now. It's incredibly impressive.
No, it's impressive. I don't know what to do with the 5K all-time high school list because they don't run it.
What you do is you look at who owns the record, and you look at it's one of the probably greatest American distance runners of our lifetime, and you say like, wow,
Fair.
that's impressive. Connor Burns, who you probably never heard of.
What do you mean I haven't heard of him?
Tell me one other thing about him.
He broke 4, didn't he? He was one of the 432 kids to break 4. Connor Burns broke 4. Oh, man. Gordon.
Did he break 4? I'm checking.
You don't even know. You don't even know.
Well, did you know he was going to Oregon?
He's from Missouri, right?
Yeah. Okay, Mr. looked it up.
No, it's his dad's the Missouri coach.
Yeah.
Right? Are we? Yes? What was it? What's his mile PR?
His mile PR is 3:59 indoors. Yeah.
So what have I not gotten correct?
No, he ran 3:58 outdoors. So he's broken 4 twice because that's what high school kids do these now. They break it multiple times. Yeah.
I guess, wait, his dad's not the coach anymore. Former Missouri, but he coached Schweizer.
Yeah, no.
So I knew this.
Okay, yeah. What the point I'm trying to get to is, like, I don't think people saw this coming. We knew he was good. I don't think we thought Galen Rupp's record was going to go down because I think a lot of us were putting kind of Galen Rupp's record on watch by the young twins, Lex and Leo, right? And so seeing kind of Burns do it, you're like, whoa. Like, I don't know.
I'm not on the same group chats as you, I guess. So I wasn't keeping tabs on the high school 5,000 record. I got to be honest.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
But I was after it happened. And after it happened, I was kind of surprised. And I was like, whoa, okay. Connor Burns. Didn't see that coming. And it's kind of cool. The Oregon guy going in and going to walk into Eugene's campus.
Do you think he'll still have
Galen
it?
Who? Oh, yeah. I ran 13.
You probably shouldn't do that. That's a little bit of advice.
See, why is Galen's face on that locker room? You know what? He's the second fastest high schooler.
Do you think he'll still have it by the time he gets on campus?
No. I think he'll get broken.
If you have an Arcadia type setup with all the best high school kids and you have a pacer in the 5,000, what do you think the record would be?
13:29.
So you think a high school could go sub 13:30 now?
Yeah.
Me too. But congrats to him. Not taking anything away from the performance.
All right, final meet, Atlanta Games.
Atlanta City.
Question. All right,
Games.
so this is a track meet that was on the middle of a field, not field,
No,
courtyard.
Centennial Park.
Centennial Park. What is it? I played flag football in that park.
Yeah, it's a park.
I never watched a track meet.
Center
And
of the
it's
city.
the thing though is, all right, watching it online was good because the camera angles are there.
Yeah.
But if you're there,
Yeah, they go boom.
this is probably the worst spectator event you could ever be at. Because you can't tell everyone wants to just be at the finish.
Yeah.
And if you're at the finish, you don't get to see the race. You're just seeing blobs come towards you. So you're never seeing like winning and losing. So you either get like a TikTok's length of a track meet and seeing them just go across the finish line.
Yeah.
Or you get a little bit more, but you don't see who won because you're like, oh, who won that angle?
It's like going to a tennis match, but there's no return of serve. Every time it's just like that.
Yeah.
You gotta start over.
I just felt like
That's
it's a great
always-
setup and mindset, but like viewership-wise on the ground is not the best experience.
That's
there was no
always been the
stand.
pushback.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they do have some elevated stands, but not the whole way. And then you don't see the
Well, this they
beginning
don't. They elevated the thing, and people were like
standing next to
going
it.
like this, like
Yeah.
looking up, like,
Yeah.
what? Who won? It's like on the front row of a stage.
These things are always billed as great in-person stuff, but I almost think it's better when you're watching at home because
Yeah.
it looks cool. Especially these hybrid road track, like the 600.
Yeah.
Was kind of cool because you're just watching Ajay Wilson fly around these corners, run through the city basically, and then the last 150 she hops on the track and then finishes. And I've always appreciated those visuals because for some reason when they're running on the track and they have more space, you get that side angle. You get a better appreciation of just like how fast they're running, and that adds a different dynamic, which I appreciate. But yeah, I'm with you. In person, it's just tough because
I just felt bad. I was like,
the benefit of having an oval in front of you is they always
can
come
see the
back
whole
around.
thing, yeah.
Yep.
I guess it's like watching a marathon in person too, right? You only get to see them go by. Ooh.
Well, usually if it's trials or Olympics, it's multiple loops.
True.
So a little different. Lyle's got the win. Let's talk about that 150. This was set up for him just because that 150 is probably a perfect distance when you look at how good he is.
I think it's 177 is his perfect distance.
177. So this was closer to his perfect distance than
for sure.
100 was. 1456, third best time in history. Knighton, 1485. Omanyala got out quick, but he got caught towards the end. I mean, you're not gonna hold off Noah Lyles. That's just gonna be too tall of a task.
I mean, I have no reaction to it. It's a 150. It means nothing to me.
Yeah, no one's ever been like, man, when they turn their season around? That street meet 150.
Yeah.
That's what it's just so hard to deal with these abstract numbers. Although, I mean, the Holloway race was interesting, high hurdle, because he goes 13:01, which is the world lead. But second was Robert Dunning.
13:09.
Yeah, I think that's the one performance that we take away. Another situation, another runner-up performance by a man in the hurdles for the United States, TJ Allen in Doha, and now Robert Dunning, which is mighty impressive for him. Alabama guy. Dunning. And I think, Holloway looked great. It was just hard to tell how fast they were going because it was such a unorthodox setup.
Yeah.
It's just like, wait, oh man, he ran 13:09, and then by the end, Dunning had closed the gap considerably. So, yeah, 13:09 it's going to put you in the mix. I mean, it's going to be tough with Trey and Devin and Grant.
We'll talk a little bit about the women's 100.
Women's 100?
Yeah, women's 100. Aaliyah Hobbs got the win. She should have gotten the win because the competition wasn't as steep. I mean, Briscoe's good and all, but it was Hobbs for the win. But look at Hobbs' start time, her reaction time. 0.237 compared to everyone else who's in the 0.17s.
Yeah.
What was Hobbs doing in that starting blocks? was she taking a good old time? Be like, oh.
But that's not that much time. It's the difference of 0.06.
That's a lot of time in track time. Come on, man. It's like dog years. You have track reaction time years and dog years and normal years. Yeah. That's a century.
Could get her down to 10:09.
That's at least a Game of Thrones season 4.
I like it though. If you win, it's cool because then you think you could go even faster if you weren't.
She still ran sub 11 with it. I mean, sub 11 with the 0.23 reaction time. One would argue that may be the fastest sub 11 with that slow of a reaction time in the history of track. I don't know how you could look that up. I don't know where that stat would be saved, but that is a slow ass reaction time for a sub 11 performance.
So she was 0.172 in the first round.
Yeah.
So I think it was just a outlier.
Yeah, it was an outlier. That's why I'm bringing it up.
She ran 10.93 too in the prelim, so it did help. 1.2 wind, and then a plus 0.2 in the final. All right. Well, I want to talk about the men's 100 though.
Okay, let's do that.
Oblique Seville, another win. 9.99.
Simbene, 10:01 though.
Yeah, he was close.
And Hughes, 10:01. Simbene and Hughes also showed like, hey, we're still there.
Yeah, those guys are all finalists at Worlds. Like they have potential to all be finalists at Worlds, but they've made World Championship finals and Olympic finals, so that's not a surprise at all. Yeah, the gap. Where does the gap exist right now in the men's 100? Is it Curly and then a gap, and then everyone else? Is it Curly and Bromell? Is it like where? Dude, it's just hard to separate them into groups.
We just don't know. I think it's too early to make gaps in the 100. I think we need to wait till end of May to make our gap rankings.
Like where is he? It just doesn't seem like there's much. 1 to 10, there's not a lot of daylight. Because I think Seville right now, no worse than top 4 in the world. That's what it was in Worlds last year. But if Simbine and Hughes are only 0.01, and I know it's only one race, but if they're that close to him, this is just, it's getting really deep.
We're trying to split a 0.
Well, getting into the finals is going to be really hard at Worlds. 4 Americans, plus Seville, Blake, Simbine. I'm going to leave somebody out. But yeah, exactly. There's going to be a bunch of people.
Let's say who we are. Okay, so we're going to say 4 Americans?
I think 4 Americans will make it.
Okay, so then Seville's 5, right? 6 is...
I think Akeem Blake's going to make it.
Akeem Blake is 6.
I think Omanyala is going to make it.
That's 7. And then they have Simbine, Hughes. Yeah. You have the other, like, Terrence Jones and the high school kid.
Sam
Asinga.
Yeah.
Like, there's...
I'm pulling up the list right
running out of lanes. Is it a 9-lane final or is it an 8-lane final? What is it? It's 8?
You need 10 or 11. Yeah. Fanbele and Krume. Yeah, this is tough. I would say I'm going to still throw DeGrasse in there.
DeGrasse is not making the 100-meter final.
I think he's going to make it, and I think...
Bro.
I'm going to put Fanbele in there.
Bro, I get it. DeGrasse shows up when it counts, but, like, he's not showing up.
You asked me who my 8 were. That's my 8.
DeGrasse is not making the 100-meter final.
Write it down. Write it down. You have it all?
I'll make a bet with you that DeGrasse doesn't make a 100-meter final.
He's going to make the 100-meter final.
Bet me.
I want to bet on all 8. Whose 8's better? You won't because you're scared. It's okay.
I'm not scared. I just know DeGrasse isn't making the 100-meter final.
He's going to make the 100-meter final.
He's going to win the Canadian 4x1 again. That's what's going to happen.
Dude, Canada goes back-to-back. That'd be huge. That'd be actually pretty crazy. Back-to-back for Canada in this era? Pretty awesome. You asked me what my 8 was. That's my 8.
I'm just upset they picked DeGrasse.
You don't have an 8. That's okay.
You chose DeGrasse over the Olympic champion.
Yeah. You're not picking the Olympic champion in the top 8 either. So stop starting problems. Causing problems over there, Gordon.
I'll tell you my 8 later on. I'll wait till the end of May.
On next pod? Next Monday?
End of May pod.
End of May.
Yeah, way after another Diamond League.
How is that fair?
I don't make the rules.
Actually, I think there's a world where 4 Americans don't make it. I think actually.
Yeah, there's definitely a strong world there.
How strong is the world?
Pretty strong.
This is before transportation evolved to where it is today. Because that's why people are running faster, guys.
I mean, people are running faster because it's easier to get on a plane.
Yeah.
First class, your legs probably have more circulation, so you're able to be more recovered when you go run your times.
We are so far advanced in terms of transportation compared to where we were. What are we comparing this
Like,
to? What era?
If Jesse Owens got to fly first class to the Olympics, he's definitely running at least 0.1 seconds faster.
You know the story about that, right?
What?
To go to Berlin, they're on a boat.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and a lot of them gained like weight because they couldn't like exercise and were just eating food on the boat, and some of them so like they had to like work out on the ship like as they were going from the East Coast over to Germany. Yeah, but I didn't know you were comparing it to 100 years ago. I thought you were comparing it to 20 years ago when planes definitely existed.
I was doing both, man. Well,
Hold on. Gordon's got to take. Planes didn't exist.
No, they existed, but you got to assume transportation. It's easier for high school kids. More high school kids are flying in 2023 than were flying in 1990. That's a fact.
Just in general or
I
to
remember
meets?
when I was a kid growing up, going on a plane was a huge deal. You're like, whoa, I'm on a plane. This is wild. My parents let me go on a plane.
Yeah.
But I feel like now these kids go on planes all the time.
No, I think it just depends who you're talking to. I think it is a big deal for some. The difference was there weren't all-star meets set up to fly to. It's not the fact that the plane is in existence, man. It's the fact of where they're going when they get off the plane.
Yeah, but you need a plane to get there.
No, I think the bigger thing, you had it right before, is the internet, right? You know about everybody, so you can set up the race. Not as sophisticated as now.
Planes existed, but not as the planes are much more high tech. They have Wi-Fi on it now. They have.
That has nothing to do with why these meets are set
first
up.
class. They got
the results,
first class select.
No, you're able to see all the results, all the workouts, everything, so you can set up these matchups. And
you can now track the flights. You can see where they're going. People are seeing like
matter.
the landing times. Estimated time of arrival was not a thing in 1990. You just assumed you would get there eventually.
So it all started with Tom Hanks starring in The Terminal. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, 2003, great film.
Did you really? Wow.
Is that when it came out?
I mean, you should have just stuck with it. I believe
The Terminal, 2003? Oh, 2004. Oh, dang it. I was off by one. That was a good, close enough guess, though.
It's not the plane technology.
But it's also not.
It's definitely not at all. Do you have anything else you want to say?
That's it. Hell of a weekend of track.
Someone says Gordon is disrespecting DeGrasse. Man, not surprised. Gordon is American after all. DeGrasse is Canadian. No surprise at all. But I'm not. I'm saying he's going to make the final.
If you show me a DeGrasse race in 2023 that makes you think he's going to be one of the eight fastest
Tell me you don't
100-meter runners.
Tell me you know nothing about track without telling me you know nothing about track. He'll be fine.
He'll be fine. Andre DeGrasse. We're going to bring this up. Sorry, I can't. I get it. He has phenomenal career and phenomenal pedigree. He was really great in 2015 and 2019 and certain other years.
Keep going, and a lot of the years.
But last year he was not great. He was he was the anchor of a 4x1 that had a lead.
How'd that go? Oh, they didn't have the lead?
Did they?
Or he held off. I mean, he ran a better anchor leg than Bracey did. Bracey medaled in the 100.
This is what he's done.
Yeah, I don't care.
He's run 10:21 for 5th place at the Tom Jones Memorial, 20.4 for 7th place at Botswana, 20.3 for 6th place at the Diamond League. He's only won one race. You know what race he's won?
Doesn't matter.
The Pepsi Florida Relays 4x1, because that's what he's good at. He's good at the relay.
No, he's not.
He doesn't have a baton in his hand. He ain't no. If he runs prelims and the semis with a baton in his hand, yes, he'll make the top 8. But if he's running with no baton in his hand, he's not making the top 8.
He's gonna make the top 8. I'm gonna go.
He needs to get a tattoo of baton on his wrist if he wants to make the top.
I mean, it wouldn't be a hard thing to get.
Last year, what was his best time last year? He hasn't broken 10.
It could be fun.
He hasn't broken 10 since August of 2021.
2021. Yeah, but that's his thing. He doesn't even.
He hasn't broken 10 in 2 years, man.
He doesn't run. But that's the thing. He never runs the fast times, but he's there when it counts.
No, he's not there when it counts. He ran 10:21 at Worlds.
He literally won the Olympics in the 200.
That's 2021, man. It's
Yeah, it's only 2
2023.
years ago.
That's a long time.
It's not that long ago.
Think about the person you were 2 years ago.
Exactly the same
Not
as
the
I
same.
am now. All right, we got to go.
Not the same. I'm a different man.
I'm picking him.
All right, I'm not picking him.
I'm picking him to make the final. Yeah, he's going to make the final.
He's not making the final.
You never gave me your 8, so it's not like you're making
Well, my
such
8 is anyone not named Andre DeGrasse.
That's silly. Come on, stop. Name your 8.
Okay, I'll name my 8.
You won't do it.
I will do it. Should I do it on the next pod? I want to feel more prepared.
Okay, fine.
I'll do it on the next pod. Remind me to do it on the next pod, and I'll name my 8.
right.
And I'll be right. I'll go 8 for 8.
Next pod, next Monday, by the way.
Yeah, Monday.
Monday's only now.
I'll go 8 for 8.
Yeah. Watch Gordon get a bunch of stuff wrong.
No, I'm going to go 8 for 8.
Yeah.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah. FloTrack Podcast. Thanks to Nico for producing. We'll talk to you guys next week.
Go Sixers.